All right. Well, there's a whole 10 minutes of no audio, some pretty pictures, and and now here's me red in the face with technological embarrassment. Um, I hope you can hear me now. Yeah, I'll make sure to edit that out in post. Thanks for coming there, Cal. I appreciate you letting me know because I had no clue about any of that. It's the growing pains of, you know, yeah, yeah. The only witness. I suppose there's a little caveat. Um, but thanks for letting me know. I had no clue that I couldn't um I wasn't streaming any audio. I can be paid to stay quiet. Yeet. I was just going over a little bit of news. I guess I'll kind of make it even more brief than what I was hoping to make. But I was just going over a little bit of news about Mantic's new Halo Flashpoint game that I've been trying to cover bits of on stream here. So I will get that back up. But my whole point was just they've released now pre-orders you can get for the game. They have this Recon edition right here. That's kind of a smaller package. The terrain. I took a look at the terrain. It's kind of a very uh, interesting tactic they've kind of gone with their material choices. It's not plastic. It doesn't look like it's plastic. I believe this is like MDF that they have essentially printed high quality graphics either onto, or they've printed it onto like a self adhesive material and just rolled it onto MDF and then laser cut the MDF. So it's all interlocking. It's all pre colored. It's not painted. It's definitely like a printed thing. But nonetheless, it's kind of a cool, pretty quick way to set up a battlefield. Um, but you get a smaller version for $75. Comes with like 4 red Spartans, 4 blue Spartans, dice, tokens, cards, all the things you need to play the game. And then they've got this larger edition that comes with all the stuff you see there, plus extra tokens and more pretty stuff for your battlefield and whatnot, as well as some more red Spartans, some more blue Spartan variants, and then 4 banished elite models. And I thought those looked really cool. So I decided to opt for it and go with the big one. If you do, they also have a paint set with the main character of the franchise, the Master Chief, that you get some paints. You can paint them up how you'd like. And so that's kind of interesting. Some other things going on here with that. So let's just check out what you get in the box with this. Um, you get 8 Spartan models, a rule book, a playmat, pre-colored terrain, and tokens, 10 weapon cards, 8 player model cards, some reference cards, two D8 dice, and then some command dice to use in the game. Looks pretty interesting. You know, you can kind of see what the terrain looks like there. I mean, in my mind, $75 for a fully playable game right off the bat is I don't think that's too bad. It seems like a pretty decent value for what you get out of the box, especially considering the price of a box of Space Marines or whatever for Warhammer 40K. I suppose Kill Team would probably be their closest competitor with this game, but I mean, I think it's worth it. But yeah, you get these little elite guys in here, some extra blue Spartans, some extra red Spartans. You can see over here they've got some game token things that are physicalized, and then like a flippable battle mat, so the terrain can kind of change color and stuff too. kind of interesting. You know, again, here's your elite warrior guys from the game. I think they look pretty cool. I'd love to paint them up. But anywho, just a little bit of news from that front because I want to cover it, and I think it'd be kind of cool to play the game and paint the models. So that's what I'm in for. All right. So moving on, we've got some models to paint tonight. We've got some models to paint tonight. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Flippable battle mat for when you lose. Collecting chaos. Good to see you. Good to see you. Here we are. Here we are. Let me get the other camera rolling. What a Monday, though. If it wasn't for the fact that the first like 5 minutes of the stream there was no audio, I was up hanging out with my parents this weekend, and kind of just doing some stuff up there and being a kind of a handyman. Had a lot of fun being with the family. And then Sunday rolls around and Mother Nature rears her head, and it starts snowing like no tomorrow. Just absolutely getting pelted with snow. It was a lot. It was a lot. I think there's probably a good 18 inches on the ground by this morning, and I had called work that night, and I was like, this ain't happening. I'm gonna end up in a ditch somewhere if I don't call out. So I did, and I made it. It was slow going. It was like a 4-hour drive. Well, probably about 3. I guess it wasn't that long, but it was about a 3-hour drive, so an extra hour on top of the drive to get back home. But I didn't want to leave the parents with that much snow in their driveway, so I was cleaning up and getting all that squared. It was, man, what a lot of work. Just a total blizzard overnight. And apparently after I left, like only a couple hours after I left, it started all back up again. Just blizzard all over again. 40-mile-an-hour winds, a ton of snow, and me poor mom was trying to shovel out the driveway. So but yeah, then how would I ever get my dwarves back? Right. Frost and Fist, Mythos, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. It was a little rough, but I was happy to do it and happy to help out. Let me just check one more time. I believe I went through this. My audio was out for the first like 5 minutes of the stream, so I'm kind of trying to remember what I was talking about for the intro. An update. That's right. Update for the voting on what we're gonna see next from PML. Now, I believe. I believe there was 8 votes. 8 votes cast. There's a split between the Warlord Titan rebuild and Fantasy Creatures paint up, and a close third is the Warhammer 40k paint and compare with Frost and Fist. So if you want to see that, drop a vote in the community section there under the what you'd like to see next. Also thinking about getting the Hound in on that one. I met the Hound over the weekend of Hound's Armory, and real nice chap. Looking forward to doing some stuff with him in the future as well. And I think he would be kind of part of that as well. Mythos, you should definitely check that guy out. He's a huge 40k nerd too, and I think you guys had hit it off quite well. I don't do that whole snow shoveling thing. Yeah. If only. I think that's why a lot of folks end up going to like, where is it? Arizona. That's where I always hear people are like, yeah, I'm going to Arizona. Yeah, for sure. Check them out. Check them out. Always good to meet new friends and so on and so forth. I'm gonna get some tunes rolling here because we have like a dwarf and a half to get through, and then an orc, and a little bit of ceiling tonight. And I'm hoping to get it all complete as much as I can while we're live. Let me know if the music's too loud or whatnot. A lot of rain, but it's been warm too. Nice, nice. Hey, I'd rather take rain. Rain moves itself. Road March is coming in hot. Hello, Road March. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're just getting started. I had some audio problems earlier. We went over some news for the Mantic Games Halo Flashpoint tabletop game. I've got a pre-order in for that so that we can check those models out, paint them up, and have ourselves a good time. But anywho, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit here. We are so close on this stuff, guys. We're really close. I'm excited for what's coming around the corner for PML. There's always something new and flashy, either in the works or getting there. So we're gonna. This guy's looking pretty close. He needs a little bit of detail work done on him, just in a couple of places, so that we can kind of wrap this guy up. Some more silver, I think, is gonna go down. Yeah, check out these pallets. I meet those, man. Meet those. Come in here. Come in here. Check this out. Oh, look at all that gunk. Look at all that gunk. And then I can just. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. That's insane. No. It's even got their logo embossed on the paint there. Isn't that wild? This just like comes right off. I'm in love. I'm in love with these pallets. I am seriously in love with them. I am left speechless every time I sit here and kind of just the little dibble dabs of paint I need, the giant amounts of paint that I need, just they come right off this thing. Sorry, I'm doing this off the shot here, but yeah, you can just it's gone, just gone. Oh yeah, I went over it a little bit earlier, but there's two sets. There's two sets that you can pre-order. One of them's got 4 models, I believe. Some pre-colored terrain. I believe they're just printed onto some MDF or some type of material like that and laser cut it. It all slides together, kind of very slick style kind of thing going on there. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. They have the Recon set for like 75 USD, and then the Spartan edition comes with 4 elites as well as some extra blue and red Spartan variants, and a few other, like some actual marker tokens and other things. I mean, the Recon one comes with it too, but I think it's more like they're like cardboard tokens, whereas these are actual 3D little diglets in there that you can just kind of plop down on the table, and a battle mat. Both of them come with a kind of a cool battle mat. So I think it's worth it. It looks like the price for what you're getting is very much on par with what you'd expect, the kind of quality and such. I'm sick of pollen already. Oh man, yeah, it's kind of, I guess it is getting that time for some folks. Let's check out. I have a box Rel Partha Dragon that I have been meaning to paint since 1997. Well, there's no time like right now to start looking at how you're gonna paint that thing, and to get painting. Like, grab that brush. I know you can do it, Collecting Chaos. I don't know. I might have to. If there's one thing that I kind of think about every now and then, while I start filling up my paint pot. I like to kind of encourage people to give painting another go if they've been out of practice for a while, or out of the practice. I meant to say for a while, or if the if they're new for the first time. I'd say there's always now is always a good time to start. However, it makes me wonder, if I'm preaching that, now is probably a good time to think about how I'm gonna clean a comic book. Maybe I should step into Collecting Chaos's shoes and maybe follow one of his really cool how to clean a comic book guides, or like watch how he does it, and attempt his art form myself. Something we might see in the future here, just as a little spin-off thing, I suppose. But I think it would be wonderful to, I should probably walk a mile before I start spouting my mouth off. I'm a little bit back in the comments section here, just seeing what's going on. Yeah, it definitely seems satisfying. There's Frost and Fist. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it's a decent amount of stuff. So, Heck yeah, yeah. I can't say my wallet has ever, well, not me, like, I've never thought about trying to go after some of those old school minis, but I know that if I do, my wallet is going to have something to say about it. That's how you English that thought, friends. I'm going to shake up this burnt orange. We're going to do a little bit of burnt orange trim. We're going to do a little bit of silver trim. Yeah. There's only so much time in the day, right? There's only so much time in the day. But yeah, I should look into that. I think it would be fun to switch it up a little bit, walk a little mile in a totally different field of doing things. Would be a lot of fun. Well, hey, if there's if you need any help, I'm right here for you there, Mythos. Also, I think it got a little bit cold in the basement because the paint is now fighting me, friends. It is wanting to escape the bottle, and it is a sign that it is desperately wanting to be used. It's like, I think the temperature change like pushes the paint out of the bottle for some reason. Not sure. Oh yeah, eBay rescues. I'm telling you, I like most of the stuff that I have in my 40K junk is like eBay rescues that have been just kind of sitting, and I really want to do some stuff with them. I don't know what to call it. I saw there's another painter out there that's doing Warhammer 40K stuff and taking old eBay rescues and like models that his friends have got and stuff, and repainting them, and calling it what is it, plastic surgery? I think that's what it is. Yeah, plastic surgery. And Yeah, that name is pretty killer. I wish I could just kind of yoink that. That's quite a few. It's quite a few figurines to list there on eBay. I'm gonna actually move this camera over. I'm hoping it will just come with me over here. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Just looking for little bits and bobs. So what have we been up to in Hobbyland? What's been new? Maverick Paints, that's what it is. Yeah, what a good name. Guy nailed it on the head with plastic surgery. I have yeah, there we go. Dungeon Minister is coming in. Hello, Dungeon Minister. How you doing? I was so happy that I caught your latest episode with like it was just seconds released, and I was like, oh man, that the timing is perfect on this. I better drop a comment. We got some little plates back there, that little silver on them. Do this. Do a little greave action here. I guess the whole point of just kind of going around a little bit randomly with various colors is just to, while we're making them uniform, we're also making them stand out. I'm gonna bring you guys down in here, I think a little bit more. Catch those details. There we go. Bam. There we go. That's kind of what I was looking for originally. Has it been a lot this this Holy Week? A lot of stuff doing. Okay. Just had to make that riff, that guitar riff gets me every time. I'm like it because I run the I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit fainter with the way that YouTube compresses audio on maybe your guys' end. I'm not sure how loud the music is, but every once in a while when that guitar riff hits, it sounds an awful lot like another very popular guitar riff from a legitimate song, and I always am trying to be aware of the copyright strikes, because if it ever goes through this background playlist that I have and reaches the end, sometimes it'll like to pretend to be funny and throw in legitimate music in there that has, well, not legit, music that has copywritten stuff on it. So it kind of gets me every once in a while, just every once in a while. Yeah. Let's see here. What are we talking about? He's jeweled, indeed. Yeah, I'm sure leading up to, wasn't it like Palm Sunday? Yeah, it was Palm Sunday, because I was handing out palm leaves at the praying place. And yeah, that's right, it was Palm Sunday, so that must have been a fun one for you doing too. Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna be busy. That looks like quite a packed schedule. Oh yeah, Sonic cleaners. I'm telling you. I mean, I use a jewelry Sonic cleaner, it's made for smaller objects, but I use a jewelry cleaner that's a Sonic cleaner for my airbrushes, and that works out pretty flippin' well. I'm not gonna lie. I have had really good luck with that, and it's been quite the blast to use. Again, it's just a cheesy, cheap machine. It does about 50% of the work for you right off the bat. If you want to go and spend some more, I'd highly suggest a company called Vivor. And I say this just because I've used some of their stuff before. I don't have any affiliates with them or whatever. So again, 100% just user recommendation here, but the brand Vivor, they have a website. Go find a Sonic cleaner from them, because you'll be paying a lot less. Although, just do bear in mind that it's some premium Chinesium. It's not a brand name Sonic cleaner, but the stuff that I've gotten from them it does what it says. It will do the thing. However, it is coming from overseas. So if you're looking to spend your money on quality and will last you 20 years plus, I would definitely go find yourself a certified name brand kind of thing. But if you're looking for something to dip your toes in and you want something that's more powerful than just a jewelry cleaner, definitely go with these Vivor people, because they make stuff and it works and it will last a while at least, and it's worth your money, in my mind, if you're just looking for stuff like that. You are on a roll there, Mythos. You're just slaying all that, huh? I will read through all of that in just a second, my friend. But that, just from what I read, that's quite a few. I think it's a V. Yeah, here, hold on. Before I shove my foot in my mouth, let me. make sure I'm sending it to the right place. Da, da, da. Yeah, VEVOR. I'll put it in the chat for you. Okay, yeah, let's see. Did the decal and varnished 9 minis this week. That finished off most of my entries for March and McCrag. Yeet. All right, I that's right. You've been trucking away on some of those blue boys, the Gilliman's finest. Oh my gosh. I've had a couple of those. Too. I had another playlist that was kind of background music, but it kept getting struck in Russia for some reason. It was like, Russian people aren't going to be able to view your stuff. And I didn't want to keep having an issue with the copyright system for just in general, so I decided to ditch that. And I switched over to this, and this is pretty on point for kind of the vibe I'd like to have while I'm painting. Just a little bit of relaxed, enough to make the work happen, spur on the creativity and such. Trying to finish the kobolds and goblins. Was sick for a week. Well, I'm glad hopefully you're feeling better. Sorry to hear that. Being sick is never a fun deal. Yeah, you might want quality. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a cheaper option. Again, it's not like they're selling some serious, junk or anything like that. It's just, it is made overseas, mass-produced kind of thing. So just be aware that, there's not a lot of end-user support going on there. If for some reason something happens with it, but you can get stuff for significantly less from those chaps. Yeah. That brings up a good point. Honestly, like, to me, this hand, let me zoom out. I'll show you. Yeah, this hand right here, this brush hand doesn't really move. Besides, to maneuver the model, I suppose. I'm just gonna make this part orange. But this hand doesn't really move. This one doesn't. The brush hand. It's this hand that does all the work. As well as getting into some of the greebly bits here. This kind of chest cowling thing. You just flip it upside down and paint that bad boy. You maneuver the model where you want the brush to go. And you'll find that it's a heck of a lot easier. We're just gonna make this whole thing orange. There we go. Just give him a little pizzazz going on in there. It's looking nice. There we go. But yeah, it just keeps you nice and balanced. Minis paint you in Russia. Minis paint you. Sauce a little bit of extra orange on here. Make it stand out. Don't be afraid to use the whole brush too, you know. If you can only get somewhere with the barrel of the brush, make it work. You can do it. I mean, I can't get the point of the brush all the way down there, but I can get the barrel and just kind of like slide it around. All right. Here we are. This apparently wraps around to his back too, so we'll get a little bit of paint back here as well. Calvinoni, the one and only, I'm telling you. Sending me all the fun models. As much as I have had to kind of push myself on these guys, it has given me quite a wonderful opportunity to try some sculpts I normally wouldn't necessarily go for. Just because it's a game I'm unfamiliar with, not because I don't like them. It's just a game that I'm not familiar with, and so painting a totally different range with colors that I haven't necessarily used frequently, it's really pushed me to become a better painter, and I've got Cal to thank for that, for sending me this project. This has been interesting to navigate and to work on. It's been a lot of fun. All right, so this guy is looking pretty good. We got some different colors on there. Everything's working together. Nothing looks too crazy. This guy is still yet to be touched. You are like totally finished. I think we did need a little bit of bright jade, I believe. What is this? We got jade and then bright jade. Need a little bright jade to do some trim on his little skirty thing, little armor skirt. And then we should be able to move on to the next guy. Send me some other ridiculous ones. I think I'm gonna probably work on another project, but we'll get back to that. I mean, I wouldn't be down to, or I would be down to probably take you up on some more fun paints in the future. Oh, you're gonna use these for other games? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, yeah, it's just turn that tap off. Again, I think it got really cold down here, and it's just the temperature difference causing a little bit of pressure. Under pressure. So, Frost and Fist, Mr. Mythos, lay it on me here. When I was doing 40K, I didn't hear anything about this March for McCrag thing. Is that new? Is that coming from like Reddit or something? Has that been around for a long time and I've just been under a rock, Patrick Star style? I hadn't heard of it until basically it was Steve over at Who Took My Dice was doing it, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And now you're talking about doing it. Is this a new thing? Is this an older thing? Like, I have not heard of that. Yeah. I'd say that's... Yeah, cleaning up the mold lines is kind of a nice touch to do. I think for a lot of folks doing war games and such, I think there's a decent amount of folks who like to clean up the mold lines. But if you're just getting them tabletop ready, do what you think's going to look best. Is kind of my thing. Washing a model too, I think that's definitely for like metal models. The plastic ones have a little bit of stuff to them too, but I haven't needed to wash too many that I've done personally. I haven't seen that. Where like the paint or the primer just doesn't stick. But then again, I'm using an airbrush. I guess if you were like hand priming these guys, you'd probably want to do something like that for sure. On to the next guy. Okay. Alright. Well, that's pretty cool. I dig it. I dig it. We're gonna get to work on this guy. You just gotta get started. Yeah, probably a mold release agent would be my guess for when they're injected molding or injection molded minis like that, I'm sure. So I think the after this stream ends, I'm gonna call it good on the community post for what you want to see next on PML. If you haven't had a chance to go and vote, please do, and we'll close that vote. And more or less, it's just what project do I give priority to first. All of them will eventually happen. It's just a matter of when and what folks want to see. You know, it just boils down to the when aspect of it. I didn't even think of a water pick. That is pretty genius right there. A water pick would be really cool. The other thing that kind of stinks about painting minis in the wintertime is that you lose a ton of work time on your paint just being on your brush because there's no humidity in the air. Have to chisel mold lines. This axe is really cool and I want it to stick out so bad. I think we're gonna use brass for this. This little bit of this brass color we got going. We'll probably do some silver on there as well, but just a couple different metallics. Make it look cool. I'm gonna try my best here to follow this pattern. We're essentially micro edge highlighting, friends. This is stuff that gets me a little nervous because I want the original color to stand out, and if I use a little too much pressure, there goes a little bit of an oopsie stroke, but you can kind of see it on there. We're gonna build this up pass after pass here. Not half bad. There's a couple mistakes in there, but it's nothing crazy. I'll add a little bit of silver to it. Bob Jester, how's it going? How's it going? It's good to see you, my friend. Oh, yeah. Now that sounds pretty brutal. That sounds... were those like the old spin cast models I keep hearing about? DDO. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've been pulled into this game as well. This DDO game with Bob Jester and a few other ne'er-do-wells, and every time I play it, it's hilarious. What a fun old school or older MMO. It's just a absolute hoot to play with Bob Jester and the other shenanigans and the other hooligans that are in their little party. think his axe is mainly going to be the biggest part of this that is going to take the time. It's going to be the time sink here on this particular model. Not all too worried about it, but I'd like to make both sides of it look fairly uniform. That's kind of what I'm going for here. We all blame Todd. We got 6 live chat lounge cats in the stream. Thank you guys for being here. Do appreciate it. I think this has got to get even more thinned down than it already is. Yeah, that lack of humidity, man, in the wintertime, it's kind of killer. Oh, and you're staring at my glove. Hello. Well, that is our goal there, Dungeon Minister. Something, some slow TV, you know. My significant other went to Norway, and she said that there was, oh boy, losing a little bit of focus here. You know what? I'm gonna have to just kind of go with it. This is a really hard angle to paint, so we're just gonna fudge it and make it look more like a. Yeah, all right, that's fine. But my significant other went to Norway, and she said that they had a lot of like slow TV there, and it was stuff like a train that was crossing through a mountain pass, and it was like a 2-hour train ride through the mountain pass, and that was just kind of like their TV was these things like that, and you just watch the nature and the rock of the tunnels pass by, and just the beauty of it. And that was a lot of their TV programming was things like that. And I thought that was, hey, that's pretty cool. You know, a lot of times when I've watched stuff on like, your standard cable TV or whatever, a lot of it is very much so about tension and adrenaline and blah blah blah. They're very intense shows. Hey, maybe I can put something on the internet that's a bit more relaxing, just kind of something for people to vibe out to. If you fall asleep to the show, I've done my job. I mean, not, I want it to be somewhat entertaining, but if you fall asleep to the show because you were coming here for something relaxing, just like other shows of a similar nature, then I've kind of done my job. And if I can intrigue you along the way and get you interested in painting a model for the fun of it, then I've definitely hit the mark. Get a humidifier for the paint area. Yeah, I've thought about it. I have thought about it. I haven't pulled the trigger on one yet, though. I mean, it's all right. Most of the painting I usually do with an airbrush, so it's not all that. I kind of want the subtleness or like the very fast humidity, so I can get on to the next layer, or like sorry, lack of humidity, so that the paint dries and I can get on to the next layer. But with very small detail things like this, it can kind of hamper you just a hair. Yeah, I came from a blizzard. I came from a blizzard just a couple hours ago. It was pretty rough. The whole area was under a blizzard warning, and I made it out of there basically in the eye of the storm, I suppose. So hunker down and, you know, stay warm. Hunker down and stay warm. Is Nebraska where they have the... Oh boy, here we go. Out of shot again. Sorry, folks. Is Nebraska where they have the Corn Palace too, or is that South Dakota? I think that's in South Dakota. I visited there like once. I was at the Corn Palace. But I don't think that's Nebraska. I have a feeling I visited at least a landmark though in Nebraska somewhere. I have no clue what's going on with his arms here. Hey, I hope you have a good time painting some minis there, Bob Jester, and it's got a lot of pros to it. So I look forward to seeing some of your work when you get your space up and running. It'll be interesting to see what you paint. Hair dryers, yeah, and that's a good tool in the arsenal for sure. You are far too kind, Mythos. You are far too kind, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here, and I wish you all the best with the ironing, because I, my friend, have no talent for ironing, and if you can make that happen, you've got my kudos. That's for sure. Nice. Mitchell, South Dakota. That's where it was. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know, if you enjoy it, the whole point of this is to enjoy it. That's all it is. That's why they call it a hobby. It's not a second job, you know. It's not the, oh hey, I picked up a second job. I paint models, you know. That's, you know, it's a hobby. It's there for you to relax, unwind, something that's, you know, very low key. Some people do it with golfing, some people do it with model trains, some people do it with comic books like our good friend Collecting Chaos. Some folks do it with playing paintball or whatever, you know, that like, it's just a, like, people have their hobbies so that they can unwind. It's a constructive way to release all that stress and tension. And, you know, it doesn't have to be meticulous work as long as you enjoy the work. I personally have I've found that I'm a little bit more of a glutton for punishment when it comes to detail, especially on projects that go to other people. But I kind of like it that way. It's a challenge to me that I relish. So, you know, if that's your shtick, you know, making a model that's as good as you can get it, that's your shtick. If you just like painting them to paint a model, more power to you. And it's gonna look good in the end either way. You know, if it looks good to you, then it is a good model. Don't put your painting work up against anybody else. Put it up against yourself, and if you like what you made, and you think it looks good, that's all you should need right there. It's just, I think it looks good. And I put my name on that, and I say, you know, that's a Bob Jester mini right there. Then that's what it should be. Because art is a very subjective thing. I mean, some artists put a banana on a wall and it sells for billions. Some artists make a extremely realistic looking insect or something and by painting it. And you know, it's all very subjective in my mind. But if you like doing it, it's worth doing. And some people don't, you know, some people don't enjoy painting models. And to them, I would say, well, you can come and watch me paint models while you're doing something else. And then you can get the feeling of painting models without actually painting the models, which is, you know, you could paint models by proxy in that way. Just show them some screen grabs of the stream, you know, and tell them that you painted that. That is just fine. That is just fine. I'm not opposed to that either. Let's check the chat here. Need ventilation to paint. I'm not opening a window till summer. I suppose, especially if your chosen medium is something like an enamel or, you know, another paint type that you've got to use. It's not like acrylic, where you've got to use some kind of spirits. I suppose that could definitely be a. You'd for sure want ventilation at that point, because you don't want to inhale a bunch of paint fumes. I mean, some folks apparently do, but I highly would recommend it. Gives me a headache. Well, I'm happy you find all those things here. That's very good to know. Again, I feel like I'm doing my job when when those things are met for folks. Just a little bit more water is needed with this brass. Kind of at the tail end of its working life here. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking about, you know, I'm always doing some kind of crazy project here on the channel. And... Oh, it's Tunka Todd! How's it going, Todd? Good to see you, good to see you. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I will set this guy down for but a moment. We'll check this out real quick. All right, here you go. Here's a good example for collecting chaos. This was one of the very first minis that I painted. This was some kind of, I think this was a chaos champion from way back in the day. But this was like one of the first minis that I painted ever. It took me forever and a day, but I think I did a fairly decent job at it. Now, fast forward, this was a couple of years later. This is just a different champion sculpt from the 40k range. And this was kind of what I was doing a couple of years after that. Way back. So that's that guy. And now, this is the kind of stuff that we're doing with, this is kind of a zombie figure, Poxwalker from the 40k range. And this is kind of what my painting has evolved to. And this is one of Cal's Abyssal Dwarves. Kind of did a bit more of a feathered kind of glow effect on the shield there, from a very hot red to a lighter red, kind of like an orange, I guess, at the ends. We've got a little bit of detail for the leather bits on him, highlights, color shift paints. Yeah, so the painting is improving in various ways. But I think those are always kind of fun models to show off, and, some of my oldest to some of my newest works. Hey, Tonka Todd spreading the love. I agree. Frost and Fists is a fun watch. Yeah, it's always good to know where you started from, for sure. I couldn't agree more. We're gonna get some of this burnt orange rolling here. That's kind of 60-30-10 it out. 60% primary color, 30% secondary color, 10% everything else. Testers makes acrylic paint now too, huh? Oof. All right. It's like the acrylic paint market has just exploded over the past, like, what, maybe 5-6 years, something like that. You know, I mean, it was pretty heavily dominated, for, at least for like these mini paints. At least when I started, I'm not, you know, I'm a pretty young whippersnapper when it comes to a lot of these models and games and such. That like you had Games Workshop with Citadel, and then you had P3, I think, was another one that I found in shop, was P3, and then G-Dub's stuff. I didn't discover Vallejo till later, but I ended up picking up some of their stuff. Vallejo was good. And then other ones started coming on the scene too, like Monument Hobbies much later. Monument Hobbies, Reaper had a paint line too. That was actually more closer to the time that I was starting a lot of this stuff. And I still have some of their old MSP paints with the very, very concentrated pigment, and I loved those. The P3 or the MSP paints were pretty killer. I taught a lot of folks how to paint with those. And by a lot, I mean like 4 people. I'm just trying to follow the fabric pattern, I guess, for these kilts. Pardon me. Let's hope that is not the randomly generated thumbnail that YouTube puts there when I get a little too lazy to actually make one. I used to do the thumbnail game. I've fallen out of practice with it. I hope to get back on that train at some point, but folks will come, they will see. A nerd's nerd! How's it going, a nerd's nerd? It is good to see you. How you been? What is new, nerds? Tell us all about it. Thumbnails are definitely an art of their own, for sure. I'm always excited when Nerds pops in. There's always something fun going on with Nerds Nerd. Are you still working on more stuff for Dusk? I believe it's Dusk, right? The game. Dusk. I need a different brush. We need a small one. A bit of a smaller boy. I'm gonna do just a little bit of really fine detail work here. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Some Italian armor for Dustsoon. Gotcha. Alright, cool beans. Cool beans. Well, I'm excited to see or hear what comes of it. I'm still not sure what to do on his paladins. I think I just gotta pay him silver. What do we got? We got an hour and a half into the stream. We got this guy, essentially, this guy that we're working on, and then one orc. We can get it done. We can get it done. I wouldn't say grossly at all. Nerds does some fantastic 3D sculpts for this game called Dusk. And judging by that work alone, I would say that is not grossly. That is, yeah, that is some pretty cool work right there. As somebody who's dabbled a little bit in 3D, that stuff takes some serious time. It can take some serious time. It takes time to educate yourself on those types of platforms and, tools, I suppose. Those types of tools. It takes a while to get there with something like that. And Nerds has that in spades. think I'm almost done with the silver bits. We're just gonna do some more orange on this guy. Then I kind of messed the consistency up. You can see there how none of this really connects. And like you start putting it over other paint, it's very, very transparent. That's how you can tell your paint's too thin. Especially on this vinyl stuff. We have 8 live chat lounge cats hanging out. And I appreciate everybody for being here. Thanks for coming and checking out Paint Minis Live, being with us tonight. I think we're gonna do burnt orange for the other cauldron. We're gonna make that stick out a little bit. A particular set of skills. I dig it. I've only seen one of the Taken movies, and people say it's a sin that I haven't seen the other ones. But my question is, for some guy who has a particular set of skills, why are there so many people around him getting taken? Like, do you think that he would prevent that somehow? Like, if we have this many Taken movies, you know, it should have just been Taken 1, the oops, I messed up. And then but now it's Taken 2, oh, there's really a problem here, and I should really get ADT. Or something. Like, it doesn't make as much sense to me how we have this many Taken movies, but that's my opinion. Just my opinion. Let that dry a little bit. Probably gonna need another coat down there on this paldron. Working on the Claricon page. Oh boy. That reminds me, since I just got home, I gotta go check and make sure my passport isn't expired, and if it is, I need to get on that like tomorrow. I'm really pumped for that, by the way. I'm super pumped. Friend. I think in some cases you do. I would just rather have one on me just to be safe, you know, and kind of, yeah, be safe at the border crossing, I guess, and that way I don't have any trouble with the Canadian border agents. Asking for the in-flight meal. Eat. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you kind of need one. The last time I was in Canada, I was actually on mission, so we didn't have to have passports because we had documents from a church in Canada stating that we were invited to be there, and they just kind of, I think, threw it off as religious stuff. I believe. I think you can get into Canada on mission without a passport. But you have to be, again, with, like, an organization or something. I always love catching up on the comments section because it's like this big old banter real quick and then it comes down to something totally different. But then there's always the somebody who's catching a what do they call it, like a reoccurring joke or something, or they you know, very timed joke. It's great stuff. The United Church of Owlbear. There you go. I'm the arch acrylic cardinal or something. I don't know. You could maybe Dungeon Minister might have a cool name that goes with some type of painting for that would be in the United Church of Owlbear. Some type of painting clergy. You know, that might be true. That might be true. I don't know. I'm still gonna deal with the passport thing anyways, just because I'd like to come back home. And I'm pretty sure the US border guards are gonna want to see that too. Holy donut. Illuminator. The Pigment Priest. Yeah, I dig it. We have 10 live chat lounge cats in the studio tonight, friends. Thank you all for being here. I do appreciate it. I'll be converting to the Church of Owlbear as a Pigment Priest. I feel like I need some. I need some like. I need some like organ behind me. We're gonna go with a little bit of dark umber to do up the skirt on this dude. You already got your skirt taken care of. You already got your skirt taken care of. You look happy, healthy, and then we're on to our orc, and then a little bit later we'll be basically done with this. The acrylic acolyte. Nice. The prophet of paint. I feel like this is just a WWE intro gone horribly wrong. The priest of pigment, the acrylic acolyte, the pigment prophet, Bill T. Ding ding ding, and then I get beat up by somebody like 3 times my size. He's really gonna feel that one in the morning, Todd. It looks like his painting days are over, Steve, because that broken wrist looks like it's gonna be there for quite a while. That's my strange brand of humor for you. A paint shaker. Oh boy. Oh boy. The finishing move, the paint shaker. Oh yeah, get that paint shaking, baby. Get that paint shaking. Oh. Oh, now I just... Well, it's a good thing I'm wearing a brown sweater. I just dipped it in brown paint. There's worse things. You know, in the future, when I have more free time to devote to this stuff, which I would really love. I would love to spend a day to paint out of the work week. That would be like absolutely wonderful. And in time, I'm hoping to get there. But like, it would be really fun to make some shorts out of that. That would be a lot of fun to do. The failed painter wrestler or whatever, and like have that just be a thing. I think that'd be great. There's pigment everywhere. It is red in the ring. There's some of the pigment profit on the floor. There's some of the pigment profit on the walls. There's some of the pigment profit on the ceiling, and it all happens to be red. This one will go down in the history books. It looks like his opponent just brushed him off. It looks like his bristles are bent. But he's getting up again, folks. He's getting up again. He has added some highlight to this show, but can he deliver the goods? This needs a little more water, I think. Oh! Miss Bella Games has made an entrance. Miss Bella, how you doing? How you doing? I've seen some of that Dragon's Dogma you've been playing. Fun. You came in at just the right time. We're at that point in the stream where the shenanigans has hit an all-time high. If you guys are into some gameplay stuff, check out Miss Bella. She's a character and a lovely voice to listen to, and just good people. So if you're interested in that stuff, go check her out. She does live streams of various games and just fun things. Pocket powder! Right? The Dale Gribble. Pocket powdered move! Oh boy. What am I... Oh boy. I feel like now at some point in PML's time of being, if we can get the channel large enough, which, you know, a more kind of real talk topic. There's 3 T's in there, a little hard to pronounce. But, you know, if the channel ever got bigger like real big, and I had a little bit of walking around money, I would definitely spend it and see it. Well, I don't think you could like. Well, there would probably be some registration fees in there, but also we'd have a bunch of people to write a petition to like a national luchadors association, and I would definitely go into the ring as the Pigment Prophet and do up some luchador shenanigans, record it and toss it on here. I think it would be absolutely hilarious. And I would love to do that. I think that would be hilarious. I'm just getting ready here to paint this the leather wrap here on our lovely battle axe, so we can kind of keep trucking along. This guy, sadly, I don't think is. I mean, I'm giving him as much treatment as I can. I think most of it's going to be down to the wash on this buddy. Because there's a lot of... I went a little bit heavier on the silver with this guy than the other ones, and I kind of need to progress this along to get to this orc guy before I run out of steam here. Let's check out... Oh, yeah. Right. I did see a write-up on that, too, about some of Capcom's tomfoolery with that. The profit's all dried up. I appreciate that, Frost and Fist. Mythos, you are a good friend. I appreciate you. I do. All the encouragement is much needed and warmly welcomed. I do appreciate the compliment. I do my best around here. And I think that is I think we're doing it up pretty good. So we're kind of just barbershop flagpoling this guy with, yeah, that definitely needs more water. We're just kind of barbershop flagpoling the wrap on here. You know, if you were to picture that in your head, the red white kind of thing, with the brown and dark brown to make it look like that wrap has a little highlight on the top end. I should probably get you guys in here. Here, welcome to the show. Zoom in a little bit. Again, we're kind of just looking to imitate that. There are lines on the mini, but man, they are tiny. They're really tiny, so sometimes you gotta kind of paint in your own detail and just make it spoof it a little bit. It'll come out looking just fine, trust me. People are gonna be looking at this from feet away, and until they pick it up and really stare at it like right in the eyes, you know, they're not gonna see a lot of this. We're gonna do a little yin yang going on here on the pauldron, just to make it even more spicy. I'm gonna take what's left of this burnt orange, do a little yin yang going on. A little orange on the left, silver on the right. Oh boy, we're talking about luchador. Looks shellacked. Luchador minis. Oh boy. Hey, all right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Mythos. I look forward to seeing some of your stuff soon here in the future too. and take it easy. And I wish you the best of luck at your client meeting. And yes, that's correct. Bill Sylvie runs the Dungeon Delver channel over on YouTube here. He's a delightful chap. I want to get in here and do a couple bits in this orange. I'm gonna need more of it. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Want to trade mailboxes. Yeah, for sure. Stuff like this matte varnish here would be a fixative, I suppose. Yeah, cool. And Todd too. Thanks for being here, Todd. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. What was I doing? I was doing a thing, and then I wasn't doing a thing, and now I'm okay. Yeah, orange. Orange was the thing. I don't know exactly what is on this Paldron, but again, kind of going with that yin-yang thing. So we'll switch over to silver. That reminds me, I'm going to just real quick do up this belt. The rest of them kind of have this belt thing going on too. So we're going to quick and dirty that. If you guys haven't played a game of Wildlands with Tonka Todd, he's running one at the Guac, which is which is ran by Mr. Bill Sylvie over at the Dungeon Delver. You should go and play some Wildlands with Tonka Todd, because he is currently running a game for my young niece and her friends in high school, and they cannot get enough of this guy. I'm telling you, he's got just the most hilarious stories. He runs his game a little bit, he runs it on the casual side, and it is just good fun. It is straight up good, clean fun. Or well, sometimes it can be, he reads the room very well. Let's just put it that way. And we've been having a wonderful time playing Todd's Wildland game. On Sunday around noon, he comes and runs a game for us, and it is just absolutely hilarious. It's a great time. So I would highly recommend going over there and signing up for a game of Wildlands with Mr. Tonka Todd. Huh. All right. Well, I try to tune in when I can. I've been trying to scheme of ways that I can somehow bump watch hours for folks, and I'm not sure if I, you know, I think I've just got to create multiple accounts, and then on all of the machines that I have, because we have quite a few computers, and I have laptops that I've scavenged from friends and family and fixed up, you know. So I have a lot of tech that's like, it could do the YouTube thing. I mean, I'm sure it's probably not the best thing to say live, but you know, trying to help folks that way. So I have to take some time and work on that at some point here, and then just have them all get set up to watch a stream. Because I think at this point I'm sitting on, we've got the stream rig, one upstairs, Sarah's PC, HP laptop, Chromebook, another Chromebook. So we've got like 5 devices right there. My cell phone, Sarah's. So like 6 or 7 devices that could probably run something like that. I've heard of stream farms in like Asia that run something very similar. There's these little bumps on his pauldron that I'd like to do up in silver here. There we go. I'm just gonna do the whole. I'm gonna do all of them. Like I said, a little yin yang going on. I think that's looking good. We're gonna go after a little bronze for his helmet and call that guy good. I have an orc to do tonight too, so I'm gonna need to bump on over to that guy very soon if I'm gonna make this work. You're gonna get a brown beard because that's quick and easy. I mean, dwarves gotta have a beard, right? That's like their shtick. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the thought there, collecting chaos. And it's no skin off my back. There we are. Nice little brown mustache and beard. Okay. So our dwarves are looking good. I can almost rest easy. It looks like I forgot his kilt thing. And then we're good. Then we're good. Lucky beard indeed. I have not gotten around to it, but I do have, when my, just a couple of years ago now, my godmother passed and left me all of her beer making supplies, because I had called her just a couple of days prior, which was just odd. I called her a couple of days prior and just to talk to her. I hadn't talked to her in a while, like a decent amount of time, and I just wanted to say hi. And I was telling her about how I was reading up on home brewing, and I wanted to make my own beer. And she was absolutely delighted to hear it, because she part-time she did work at an insurance, at like a healthcare insurance kind of place. And then when she, the other part-time that she had was being a professional beer judge. And so she would go around to competitions and she would judge commercial beer as well as amateur beer and small brewery beer. But she had to get certificates for all of this stuff. And she had to know how to make her own beer in order to judge it. And so she left me with some serious beer making supplies. Like, I mean, like, this is some serious kit. And I haven't gotten around to it. But I do want to make my own beer at some point. And the first one I know is going to be the first one is going to be a lager, I think, named after her, to be disseminated to her family, as a thank you for it, or a thank you for delivering all of the stuff, because that's how it all got here. And then I think the second one I want to do is some kind of PML themed brew, but I can't really sell it because I don't have a liquor license, so it would kind of be just one of those things that if I went to a convention or something, because I have a canning machine for beer and like a legitimate beer filling machine here. So I could can it and it would stay well for quite a while. And so I could bring it to like conventions and stuff in the future. And if you see me there, I might just have some and I can gift it to you legally, as long as I see an ID. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Do a Paint Minis Live themed homebrew. I think that would be really cool. We're gonna schnazz this guy up just a little bit too, because I'm kind of really digging that yin yang thing that we did on the other guy. As I'm doing it off screen. Yeah, I think that looks much better. Very nice. Okay. A Moria mini. Ooh. I would definitely be down for doing some Lord of the Rings style paints. That'd be fun. I could get with that. So here we have our orc. A lot of him is silver because he's got just a lot of silver stuff. Let's see. Let's get a. This is our test piece. well, not our test piece. This is our final product over here. This is our other orc. I think we're gonna be... This guy seems a little brighter than the other. Okay. Well, this guy's instantly getting a wash because I think I maybe went a little too hard in the paint on the silver. So we're just gonna wash him down right away with some... If I can find it, for starters. That's brown. Where's my big bottle of black wash? Not backwash. That's it. Black wash. Here we go. Nope, that's wrong. That'll work. I'm gonna put some paint on the paint shaker. I'm gonna use G-Dub's Nuln Oil. Yeah, some... Lord of the Rings style stuff. I'm gonna turn the paint shaker on, I'll be right back. Alright. So we're just going to give this guy an entire bath in this, just to dull everything back down again. Due to the fact that the rest of them are extremely bright, or like they're very dull silver, and I think I went a little bit too hard in the paint with the bright silver on this guy. So we're gonna slap it all back down a shade with some of this Nuln Oil. Essentially just using it like a color filter. Because at this point in the game, we're a little bit past the point where I'm wanting to break out the airbrush to redo the paint on him. And I think this is going to work out just fine. It'll add a little bit more texture. It'll be a little bit more standouty than the other orcs, but that's fine. We'll find a way to make this work out. So we're just gonna do the entire model in black wash. It'll find where it needs to go, and it'll stain everything along the way. It's like a wood stain, essentially, with this stuff. A lot of people, a lot of folks would use it, and you'd have to paint back over it if you were just looking to try and do like a pin wash or something on this. A lot of folks, you'd have to go back with your original color and go back over this stuff. There's some actual acrylic wash that's out there now from Monument called Noosh, that is essentially acrylic wash that's almost like an oil. It's reactivated by water. Once it's dried, it can be reactivated and just wicked off like a regular oil wash. This stuff doesn't necessarily act that way from the G-Dubs line, but again, we're kind of just gonna use it to filter out the color a little bit, and then we'll come back over with silver highlights in the places that need it. All right. I could potentially do some copper penny. I mean, to be honest, this stuff right here, I got this as a freebie when I ordered up some paints. This stuff is pretty cool. This is Elbitlung. Let's see, Elbitlung 502. And this is their copper. And what this is this is essentially a tube of, you know, you get paint like this that has the acrylic binder in it, and it's essentially, you know, it's got some water in it. This is acrylic and binder almost to the like a gouache, if I remember the term correctly. It's called a gouache, and you can kind of see it here. It is really thick and it is really copper. But it is some interesting stuff. You really have to water it down to work with it, but you can keep it the amount of just metal fleck in here is insane. I mean, it is extremely fine ground metallic. You can kind of see how that, let me get a wet brush here. It holds all of those metal flakes. It is very highly pigmented. Yeah, gouache. When you start to work a little water in there, it is extremely highly pigmented. More so than I've seen other paints or metallics. And I mean, that is definitely your copper penny look. The more you work this in, it's a very, I'll just kind of paint the rim with it, I guess. But this Elbitlung stuff is no joke. It is some very highly pigmented paint. Kind of pricey per bottle, but like very, very highly pigmented stuff. And it might look a little different on camera, but this is basically like you said, a copper penny essentially in a bottle. It's all kind of cool. Just a different product range to show off there. Alright, we've given our orc a little bit of time to dry. It looks like it's still drying in some places. We'll get our silver going on some of the places we can. I'm trying to remember, let's see here. Where's our... I'll have to find our Dirty Pig Pink. I've kind of been dreading this. I'm trying to remember the name of the paints. Hey, Calvinoni, good to see you. Thank you for being here. These guys are going to be essentially done after this. If there's anything left to do, I'm going to do it on personal time. You should be seeing these guys in the mail pretty freaking quick, like end of the week kind of thing. So it's just down to packing them at this point, and getting some varnish on these last couple of guys here. So you'll have your orcs and dwarves back to you very shortly. But yeah, have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you again real soon. I believe we used Shadow Flesh with them. Yeah, we use Shadow Flesh. Alright. You'll get a whole bunch of packages at once, indeed. Indeed. Yeah, check that out. Once this acrylic dries, I mean, the shimmer on that. I mean, you can tell, like, you can tell that silver from Monument on my glove here. You can tell it has a pretty good reflectivity, but then when you turn this to the light, it is just night and day, the difference in the metallic. Like, oh, that is crazy. The amount of ground metal that's in there. It looks like a copper penny, I'm telling you. It's kind of nuts. One from UK and one from Poland. There you go. Alright. Bam. Back to this. Alright, so we've got our silver color here that we've been using. Yeah, I mean, that is just ridiculous how much more reflective that color is. I'm sorry I'm getting away from myself here, friends. Just gonna do some quick and dirty standard panel highlights on this guy. There we are, back to the shot. Done with writing my draft for the next creator showcase post. I need to fill it out some, but the bones are there. Okay, good, good. Just like a model, you gotta start somewhere, right? You know, pick a color and start going to town, right? Oh yeah, that's basically what I do. You can see I'll test colors over other colors. I'll test the, you know, you can see here the paint was too thin. You can see over here it's thicker. I've tested colors out on different colors and whatnot. I do that all the time. That's kind of standard. A lot of people will do it on their thumbnail. I've seen that too, where people will they'll put it right on their thumbnail because you can kind of get it off a little easier, but I prefer to just work with gloves because it gives you a much larger area to mess with, and I enjoy that a bit more than having to deal with trying to clean my hands off like that. Working a little bit out of frame here. I'm sorry about that. Again, I'm just trying to speed paint this just a little bit. Is Miss Bella still here? Yeah, I think she's still here. Miss Bella, I was wondering, I have a kind of an off again, on again co-host that I was playing Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. It's a role-playing game. It's like a video game, like role-playing RPG. That's what it's called. Yeah, RPG. But my co-host kind of backed out of it, and I'm still really interested in it. Check it out around YouTube. I think it'd be really fun to do a simulcast, bring you into the fold, and do a little gaming together, because that seems like that would be a game that would be into your wheelhouse. But I've really wanted to play it. I think it's like, it's just on the fringe of Paint Minis Live, where we're kind of, about the tabletop RPG stuff. And this is kind of got that Baldur's Gate-esque feel to it. So if you're interested in something like that and you'd be wanting to play, I think that would be a really fun thing to do. What's going on, Mercury Wells? Yeah, it's a video game. Yeah, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. And yeah, if you're interested, you can maybe I think Discord would probably be the easiest way we could kind of get together. But if I could figure out your Steam credentials, if you're doing Steam or whatever, I'll send you a copy. What's going on, Mercury? Yeah, like I said, I'll grab you a copy if you're interested, and we can get on Discord or something and figure out how to get that in your hands. Yeah, weaving triangles. There you go. Yeah, so they adapted the video game, or they adapted the Rogue Trader rule set from the original tabletop game into essentially a video game format, and it's got its own background dice roller. Your character sheet is very similar to the tabletop thing. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. And I know Miss Bella knows her way around a video game stream, so I think it would be awesome to have her there. I got so caught up in that character creator, it was ridiculous. It was kind of funny. I made somebody that looked ridiculous, but I have no clue really how to play it either, so we're kind of in the same boat there, Miss Bella. I've played it. I played it once, and I mean it's been really easy to pick up and play. It's very much so. It's got some social elements in it. It's got it's your typical tabletop role playing game. If you've watched anything like that or similar to it, but the video game aspects, I think, are very comparable to some of the things you already play, like Dragon's Dogma and so on and so forth, or like maybe Enshrouded too, where it's kind of here's some responses, and which way do you kind of want to pull the story? Who do you want to make friends with? Who do you want to maybe back off from because they're getting a little too close for comfort, even though they seem friendly? They're probably not friendly. Those kinds of things. But I think it would be one heck of a fun time. Oh, hey, what's going on? It's the Hound. Arr! What's going on? How you doing, Hound? Yeah, it's pretty much Pathfinder kind of thing. You're right on the money with that. We're trying. I'm burning the midnight oil here, trying to finish some orcs for our viewer Cal, who has sent us some of his minis from his collection to paint up. These are from what is it? Mantic Games, yeah, Mantic Games, Kings of War, I believe. But we're like at the tail end of this project. I've been working on this one for 4 months. It's time for these guys to get home. They got to go see their compatriots, their brothers as well as Cal, because they've been gone so long. Poor Cal. What a trooper, man. Life has thrown some curveballs, some other projects have gotten in the way. What a trooper, though. I mean, really, can't thank the guy enough for being patient. I am a one-man army. It was kind of fun to see, though, that Sapphire got back with her. She was giving me an update on the female fighter we painted up, and her daughter's been playing with that in Lake Geneva. So that was kind of fun to hear that our mini has been seeing the tabletop and having a good time, and I couldn't be more tickled pink about it. Alright, let's get some skin tone on this guy. We're getting very close. I'm gonna paint up the leather work on him, or his clothing, I guess, real quick. Just this whole back bit is going leather. Oop, and I'm doing half of it off out of frame. I was checking out Hound's Armory over the weekend, and watching Hound paint up some 40K stuff, and I had a really good time over with the Hound. The Hound he's got a very similar style and kind of show setup as PML. So another painter out there who's doing kind of the same thing. There to kind of chill and just into what he's doing. So check out the Hound. It was a lot of fun watching him paint too, and he's definitely got the 40K thing. I sent Mythos, who jumped out of the stream, over to you there, Hound. So I'm sure you'll get in touch with Frost and Fists shortly. Or the other way around. He should be in touch with you shortly. Let's see, what was I going to do here? Yeah, we had that pink color, Shadow Flesh, or as I like to call it, Dirty Pig Pink. Shadow Flesh basically does this, gives you kind of this shade on your model for the skin tone, which to me looks like a pig that is rolled around in the mud. And I quite enjoy it, so we're going to use it. Alright, so we got just a dot of our skin color here. We'll start with that. I'm going to wet my brush. I don't thin it all at once, personally. I just kind of... You can kind of see how thin it is right here on the glove. Especially if you run it over another color. That's a little bit too thin. So pick up just the pasty paint and run it into the little bit of moisture I had on my brush. fine. It's still a little thin. We're just gonna base this guy in this pink color. As I do half of this off out of shot. Go. I did all of the other ones with an airbrush, but because I'm trying to finish this project tonight, I'm really kind of just gonna be using the standard brush. Mainly for expediency here. I'll probably highlight this guy too, but we'll let that dry. We'll come back to it in a minute or two. I'm going to go ahead and... Hey, thanks for being here, Bob Jester. I wish you well on getting your paint space ready. Good to see you as always. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just tough to keep the model in focus, but like I want to show people what's going on, you know. I want them to see the detail as it comes out, and also, you know, the blobby mistakes too, because like, you know, as much as, you know, especially on a showpiece, you try and be tight and correct on everything, but when you're doing some of this war game stuff, you know, there's bound to be little hiccups and mistakes, but then when you bring the camera out, it looks way different, you know. It's not quite as noticeable, but I also, you know, want to show people, you know, how the painting process works. You know, you see a lot of big name painters who, kind of like I'm doing here. I'm gonna have to try and feather that in somehow. But you see like a lot of big name painters. We're gonna use that to our advantage, I think. Let's see here. I'm gonna use that to our advantage. We're gonna get a little bit of extra paint on here. Let's actually paint texture right onto the thing. The little happy little accidents that show up, I guess. But yeah, you know, it's just those little things that start coming out of the woodwork. It's important to show folks that too, because a lot of the big name painters here on YouTube, it's just really hyper edited, in my opinion. I mean, it's cool to show the process and do the thing, right? You know, but if you don't show people that like mistakes can be made, they think that like you've got to be some kind of paint god to paint within the lines, and you don't really have to do that. It's just a matter of going back through and cleaning it up and taking the time to do it. Collecting Chaos, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Sleep well, my friend. And I'll be looking out for the next time you drop some more comic and collectible goodness. Okay. Time to go back to our pink color, put a second coat on this guy. Very close to the calling this guy done. He's got to get some teeth going. I think I used like a yellow for his teeth, and then we'll use the same yellow and a little of this sepia or Reichland flesh shade on his teeth and those bits, and that'll probably do it. Just get his feetsies. A couple little places. There we go. Black Magic Craft. I think I've seen some Black Magic Craft stuff. Was that the guy that did he did some battle mats out of like, oh, sorry about that. He did some battle mats out of like this kind of closed cell anti-fatigue mats that Dungeon Minister did too. Was that the same guy that you picked that up from, Dungeon Minister? Because I think you basically did that build for a snow battle mat for your Dungeons and Dragons stuff, right? All right, let's see. That's khaki. Here we go. Pale yellow is our next color on the chopping block. I'm gonna put this on the paint shaker. And then I haven't shown this on the camera recently, but this one's for you, Hound. This is the paint shaker I'm talking about. Literally just says nail lacquer shaker on it. It is like just this little cheapy thing, but there's a motor inside of here. This thing goes back and forth, and I just replaced the original band that it had because it wouldn't hold these guys on. I just used a blue rubber band. This one's just, it's kind of thicker than your average rubber band, but strap it on in there, and then, I mean, it's a little loud, but now that doesn't look like it's shaking really fast, but that's because of the camera FPS, but it's actually shaking quite fast. And that's about as long as you need on there, and then now it's nice and firm. Like, well, not firm, but like it's that consistency where you can hear the agitator really struggling in there, so you know the paint's thick. versus like this is a paint bottle I haven't shaken yet. Do you hear how thin that is? It sounds really thin, and then you get this one that we just shook. It just, the agitator is having a harder time reaching the other end of the bottle, and that's kind of where all that magic happens. I've got a specimen agitator that goes off when you push down onto it. It takes 15 seconds to shake. Better than you could in 2 minutes. Yeah, for sure. And are you talking about like one of those vortex mixers? Because like I've seen those too, but they're really expensive. I couldn't handle the price on that, so I ended up just going with the. I just ended up going with this nail lacquer shaker, and it's worked all right. If you know, if I want to upgrade in the future, I probably would go for one of those vortex mixers, just because I've seen the light when it comes to that. I mean, it works. It does its thing. That's all I really need it to do. I sit here and kind of just spill all over the place. Okay, sure. Gotcha. I mean, I think that at this point they've dug that thing down into a science where it doesn't need to be lab grade, I'm sure, and now it's just a commercially available product. But I saw some painters that were using those vortex things when they were like a couple $100 a pop. But yeah, that little nail lacquer shaker, I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. It leaves my wrist available to do more important things later on. Alright. So I think I'm gonna paint them this way. Oh, okay, good. That is a little missed stroke there. Oh, another little tooth. Okay, there we have it. Now this guy's just gonna get based in this anyways. Let's get a little bit of paint off the brush. It's going on a little heavy for my tastes. Yeah, what is this? Hey, good to see you, Hound. We'll see you around in the future here. And if you guys haven't, you're into this mini painting scene, looking for somebody to watch when I'm not around, go check out the Hound. And even if I am around, go check out the Hound, because Hound's doing cool stuff, doing some custodies over there on his channel, which I think are pretty neat. And if you're into that 40k scene, or just somebody other than my ugly mug, go check them out. Ooh, now that's hot. I'd do up a diorama for you for that, because that scene is like awesome. Need a little bit of that silver again. Oh, and I'm out. Okay. Really burning the midnight oil. Hey, thank you for being here, Dungeon Minister. I appreciate it. You take it easy. Have a good night's sleep. Happy Holy Week to you. Oh, and now you're watching my hand. Welcome to the hand show, everyone. Alright. Now we're off to, where is it? Yeah, Reichland Fleshshade Land, and then we're done. We're done. After this, that's all she wrote, man. We're good on Cal's dwarves and his orcs, and we can send them back. I'm gonna just varnish them off stream so that they get sealed and are protected so that he can game with them and enjoy them for years and years to come. The whole point of this bit is just to put some brown in all of the areas that could use a little shadow. Give it a little bit of a dynamic look. And we'll see how that dries out. But also you can kind of... yeah, you can't really see it with the camera, but I mean, it's there. This thing will continue to dry and you'll see more and more of that brown come into play. But that is our orc done as well. I think that's it. I'm probably gonna do some beauty shots before I send it out to him, but he's gonna get them basically towards the end of the week. The hand show. Palm olive. Well, thank you all for making it all the way to the end. If you're in the replay, and you've made it all the way to the end, thank you for being here. I always appreciate everybody tuning in to join PML as we go through our projects. This one was a lot of painting. It was a lot of painting. I think our orcs turned out well. I think I mean, some of these shields just really get me. I think they turned out beautifully with the scroll pattern on them. There's another one in here to kind of show off too. Yeah, these scrolly patterns turned out really well, I think. For how small they are, I mean, they're very tiny, but yeah, I think everything turned out very nice. I'm hoping Cal enjoys his new models. Well, they're his newly painted models, I should say, as they go on to wherever they're going to be gaming with him. Again, I'm going to get them packed up, sent out sometime later on in the week, and then we're going to start a whole new thing fresh. We've got, again, if you haven't cast your votes, go to the community section and cast your votes. What you want to see next on the Paint Minis Live channel here. You can go in there. We have 8 votes currently, and it's a tie between the Warlord Titan rebuild and painting up some NPCs and fantasy creatures. And then in third place, we have the Warhammer 40k paint and compare with Mythos from Frost and Fists, as well as the Hound's Armory. So I'll send out some duplicate models to them. We'll do a paint and compare. It's just a matter of what you want to see first and which ones get the some priority to them. But please go and cast your votes. What else? That's about it. That's all I got for you. All I got for tonight. I'm getting a little tired and ready to head to bed here. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you, Mercury Wells, for being here. Thank you, Miss Bella Games. Thank you to the Dungeon Minister. Thank you to Hound's Armory. A Nerd's Nerd, thank you very much for being here. Thank you to Collecting Chaos, who is here also. Thank you to Calvinoni, the one and only, who sent us our models to paint. Thank you, Bob Jester, for popping in. Thank you, Tonka Todd. Thank you to, let's see here, Road March for tuning in. Through all the messages, and Frost and Fist, yeah, Mythos, I think I mentioned him. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here, and we'll talk to you again in the next stream, which will be Wednesday night at 8:45 Central Standard Time. Or if you want to, you can do the click ding ding thing, and you can get notified in your own time of when we're going live. So thank you very much for being here. I'm Bill T with Paint Minis Live. Keep painting and stay happy, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.